We all have the ability to create our dream life, and the best way to do this is by entering the quantum field. So in this video, I'm going to share with you Dr. Joe Dispenza's teachings, what the quantum field is, and the technique to use to create from the quantum field. So firstly, what is the quantum field? I'm going to share Dr. Joe's explanation. He says, the quantum field is an invisible field of energy and information, or you could say a field of intelligence or consciousness that exists beyond space and time. Nothing physical or material exists there. It is beyond anything you can perceive with your senses. So in order to successfully create from the quantum field, there are a few things we need to understand first before I share the technique. So firstly, we know that reality is made up of atoms. Everything is just atoms, and atoms are energy that vibrates on frequencies. Now, it was Albert Einstein who came out with the equation E equals mc squared, and that means energy and matter are one and the same. It's the same thing in different forms. So there are two fundamental components that make up reality. There is waves, which is energy, and particles, which is matter. Now, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about the observer effect, and I'll give you a really basic explanation of the observer effect. So what physicists discovered is that the electrons, which is part of the atom, will change form from wave to particle or particle to wave depending on whether or not it's being observed. So when it's not being observed, it's waves of possibilities. And then when it is being observed, it changes from wave to particle. So what Dr. Joe says is that it basically proves that there is a connection between mind and matter, and that it basically proves that we are creating our own realities. Now, it's your vibration that's creating your reality, and your vibration is made up of how you think and how you feel. So we're going to jump over to my whiteboard because I'm going to go further into this with a diagram to help you understand this better. The quantum field only responds to thoughts and feelings that are aligned or coherent and broadcasting the same signal. So when we combine an elevated emotion with an open heart and a conscious intention with clear thought, we signal the field to respond in amazing ways. Now, this does not work if you only have the conscious intention and no elevated emotion. It does not work if you only have the elevated emotion and no conscious intention. Both the mind and the heart must be working together. Now, the quantum field responds not to what we want. It responds to who we are being. Now, think of thoughts as the electrical charge in the quantum field and feelings as the magnetic charge in the field. So, the thoughts we think sends an electrical signal out into the field. And the feelings we generate magnetically draws the events back to us. So we get back what we send out. Now, together, how we think and how we feel produces our state of being, which generates an electromagnetic signature that influences every atom in the world. Now, I'm going to show you one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's diagrams so you can have a better visual for this. So all potential experiences exist as electromagnetic signatures in the quantum field. And there are an infinite number of potential electromagnetic signatures for wealth, for health, for soulmate, for joy, for freedom, and so on, that already exist as a frequency pattern of energy. So as you can see in the diagram, we have the person that's in the now, and around them is their electromagnetic field. And then we see the potentials in the quantum field for wealth, health, soulmate, and joy. So when you change your electromagnetic signature to match one that already exists in the field. So in this case, this person is matching the electromagnetic signature of joy. Your body will be drawn to that event. You will move into a new line of time, or the event will find you in your new reality. So the question is, what are you broadcasting daily, consciously or unconsciously? Now, we all have thought patterns and emotional patterns that are running on autopilot, meaning that we're unaware of them. And if you want to learn to become aware of your thoughts and your feelings, you can do that through meditation. I'm going to share Dr. Joe's definition of meditation with you. He says, meditation means to become familiar with, to become so conscious that you won't go unconscious to any thought or behavior or emotion. So if your intentions and desires haven't produced consistent results, you've probably been sending an incoherent, mixed message into the field. You may want wealth, you may think wealthy thoughts, but if you feel poor, you aren't going to attract financial abundance. Now, there's one more important thing to understand before I share this technique with you. This is another thing that Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, and that is you don't let the environment control how you think and feel. So what he means by that is, let's say you want to manifest wealth. So you've got the wealthy thoughts and you've got the wealthy feelings. And then let's say 4 days later, you check your bank account and you're like, I've got no money. And then you're feeling frustration and lack. You're allowing the environment to control how you think and feel. And you become a victim of your environment. You have to be greater than your environment. So your 5 senses is what plugs you into this 3D reality. And you have to ignore what your 5 senses are telling you. You want to use your feelings to create your environment rather than allowing the environment to influence your feelings. So you want to hold that vibration, hold that state of being, that electromagnetic signature, no matter what is going on in the outer environment. It's very important. Right, now we're going to get into the technique. So the technique is a combination of meditation and visualization. So meditation is a great tool that we can use to move beyond the analytical mind and into our subconscious mind. Now, our subconscious mind is what's ruling our life. 95% of the outer reality comes from the programming of the subconscious mind. So through meditation, we can get into our subconscious mind. This is how we are able to influence it and reprogram it. And this is really powerful work. So as we meditate and we close our eyes, we're disconnecting from the outer world, the outer environment, and the focus starts going on the inner world. And as that happens, the neocortex will slow your brainwaves down. So you will drop from beta to alpha to theta. Now, when you're in theta brainwave, that is when you're in the subconscious mind. So you want to get into this state where the mind's gone quiet, because we all have that monkey brain, that chatter brain. So you want to get in the state where the mind's gone quiet. You have no thoughts. And you simply become pure consciousness. So Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about overcoming the big 3. And that is overcoming time, body, and environment. So what he means by that is, have you ever been driving from your house, you're going somewhere, and you get to your destination and you don't actually remember the drive? Like you were just driving on autopilot? That is what he means by overcoming time, body, and environment. It's like the same sort of thing as like when you tune out or you daydream or you've gone away with the fairies. That's the state you want to get in through meditation. So you want the mind to go quiet, there's no thoughts, you just become pure consciousness, and then you overcome time, body, and environment, sort of like going away with the fairies, and you're able to daydream. That is when you want to start visualizing. So using visualization is a combination of imagination and emotions. So You want to use your imagination and imagine yourself living in your desired reality, whatever that is for you, right? So you imagine yourself already having the thing that you're wanting. And when you do that, you want to incorporate as many of your 5 senses into the visualization, because the more senses you're adding to it, the more real the visualization will feel. So once you visualize and you picture yourself, being in the desired reality, having the things that you're wanting, you then want to start getting emotionally involved. You want to feel the emotions of already having this desire. It was Neville Goddard who said, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? So you want to feel as if you already have this thing in your reality right now. And then the last thing is pretty much just having gratitude, like express gratitude to the universe for the manifestation before you even receive it. And that's the technique. And you just simply do that. You want to do it, I do it 2 to 3 times a day. So you want to do it at least twice a day. And the best time to be doing it is when you first wake up in the morning. The first thing to do is go in that meditative state and basically tune into the vibrational frequency of the desired reality. And then when you come out of the meditation, you want to come out of the meditation with that same state. You don't want to come out of the meditation going back to your old state, your old self, the old vibration. You know what I mean? You want to come out still having those emotions of already having what you want in your life. The wish is already fulfilled. You want to stay in that vibration. It was Albert Einstein who said, match the frequency of the reality you want and you cannot help but get that reality. That is what you are doing with this technique, is you're matching that frequency. And then the second time to do it, which is actually the best time to do it, is right before you go to sleep. You can manifest in your sleep. So whatever was the last thing you thought about, watched, listened to right before going to sleep, gets taken into the subconscious mind, because as you sleep, your conscious mind disconnects, you're in the subconscious. So that, whatever was the last thing you thought about, listened to, or watched will get taken into the subconscious mind whilst you sleep, and it will marinate in the subconscious mind for those 8 hours of sleeping. So this is why it's really powerful to use this technique right before you sleep, because you will take that visualization and those emotions and it will marinate in the subconscious mind. Do that every single night. This is powerful stuff. And again, you want to do it first thing in the morning, right before you go to sleep. And sometimes I like to do it in the afternoon as well if I have the time, but it's not necessary. But using this technique consistently like that is what's keeping you in that vibrational frequency of that reality. And you've got to think of it like the gym. Consistency is key. You cannot go to the gym for one day and then walk out of there expecting to have muscles. You know what I mean? You've got to be consistently going to get the results, just like you've got to consistently use the technique to get the results. So the more you do it, the easier it gets to maintain that state. You want to maintain that state of being. No matter what's going on in the outer reality, you maintain that state of being, and eventually the outer reality will shift to mirror that state of being. Now, Dr. Joe Dispenza also talks about how the way you think, feel, and act makes up your personality, and your personality is what creates your personal reality. And if you want the personal reality to change, you have to change the personality. And in order to change the personality, you have to change the way you think, feel, and act. So through meditation, you can become aware and conscious of the version of you, the old self, that you no longer want to be. How does that version of you think, feel, and act? We have to become conscious of that. And then you could do a fun little exercise where you could use your imagination and think about, how does the successful version of me, or the wealthy version of me, or whatever it is you're wanting to create, how does that version of me think, feel, and act? And then you start embodying that in your current reality now. You think, feel, and act as that version of you now. So think of it like, say you've got a 5-year-old child. Children are really good with their imagination. You have a 5-year-old child that's pretending to be a cat. So it's crawling around on its hands and knees, and it's meowing, and it's might be rubbing up against you or licking water out of a bowl. What it's doing is it's using their imagination to pretend it's a cat, and it's thinking, feeling, and acting just like a cat. You want to do the same thing. You want to pretend in your current reality that you already are the successful version of you, the wealthy version of you, the version of you that has their dream home, and you want to think, feel, and act as that version in the current reality. So I hope you like this video, guys. If you got some sort of value out of it, let me know by smashing that like button or write a comment. If you like this sort of content, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification. Now I'm going to leave a video here for you to check out. This is going to go really nicely with this video, and it is 2 important things to be aware of when manifesting your desires. So these are really 2 important things to be aware of when using this technique, that it'll just go well together with this technique, and it's really key things that will help you to manifest your desires and not create resistance and blocks, which will stop it from coming in. So I highly recommend watching that video. Have an awesome day. Peace.